All right, everyone. We're getting into this game one of the High School Star League National Tournament. I'm Zirene, and joined today, I'm here with my co-caster, SomeGuy1144. How you doing, Some Guy?
I'm doing good today. How about you?
I'm doing really well, really well. Today, first match we have up is Pot Falls versus Woodlands, and Pot Falls is going to be on your left side, playing as the blue team, and on the right side, Woodlands is going to be the purple team up first. And right now, we have a Sona band and a Nunu band coming out. So, what do you think about that Nunu band? He's been pretty terror lately.
Well, he's really good for stealing jungle buffs and invades, but I think his teamfight utility is a little bit low. So you don't really have to ban him unless you're really afraid of dealing with him.
Yeah, Nunu is just... he makes your team have to play a little harder at that first level 1, level 2. If you ward really well, he can steal a buff, and since the jungle buffs are worth more experience, he can get further ahead. He steals a buff, he gets level 2. He steals the second buff, he gets level 3, and your jungler is level 1. It is a huge, huge setback, and we're also going to see an Elise band coming out, and a Thresh. Looks like we're going to see no Hook City this game, you guys. I'm sorry.
We have Jace.
Jace.
First pick.
Oh, I love that pick. Jace is one of my favorite characters right now. He's so powerful.
He's been played a lot in the OGN, hasn't he? Same thing with Rise, I think.
Yeah, he has as well. Rise has been a very common pick.
Very good with
I'm
being a
getting
constant source of damage and tankiness.
getting really famous all of a sudden. Yeah, Rise, very great pick. He can be played in the top lane or in the mid lane. He does very well in both of them. So it looks like Avon Fisher's client is actually having a bug, so they will have to repick after this. That's okay. I'm just going to cover it up, and
Okay,
we're going to continue. And we're just going to continue like that. So, all right, but what we did see coming out there was a Shen pick as well as a Rise pick. So it looked like Shen was going to be in the top lane with Rise in the middle. So Rise is actually a really, really strong champion. And if you can get to the late game, there's actually 2 different builds you can build on him. We've seen the Frozen Heart build, which is a typical NA build. But the Koreans actually have favored, and you started favoring yourself. I saw your games.
Yeah.
The Spirit Visage... Woda build. What's with that build? Tell me about that build.
What it does, it basically gives you a lot of sustain, but I think basically once you pop your R, you get about 58% cell vamp. If you finish your Woda. If you don't, you'll still have probably about around the high 40%, but it gives you a ton of sustain. In like mid game, I think, when most people complete that, like mid to late-ish, like early late, it gives you a lot of survivability. But what I saw one of the Korean players do though was he did sell his Hextech revolver and replace that with a Void Staff for late game once people start building magic resist. But like middle game, it gives you a ton of sustain because you're just spell vamping all that magic damage back.
And the longer Rise is alive, the more damage he's doing because his cooldowns are so low. And he also reduces the cooldowns of his abilities when he uses an ability. So he's just such a strong champion. Great late game. So it looks like they want to go for the late game there on Woodlands, on the purple team.
And it looks like went with Zach and Lulu. Zach's been a pretty popular jungler.
He's also been very popular in the top lane as well.
Yeah.
We've seen Psycho Sid pick him up a lot in the LCS, and he's also been very popular over in Korea as well. Not one of the outstanding champions that they've picked for top lane, but much more present in the jungle because of his mobility and elastic slingshot. So, it looks like he's hovering over the Jarvan there. Teresa...
Jarvan, I think.
Yeah. Or she, I guess. It might be a she. So I think I said sirs in the pregame lobby, and somebody told me I'm a girl. So I think it's Teresa's actually a girl, and I think Jessica Tata might be as well. So you know, who knows what goes on in the Woodlands, man? They got girls for days. And then, but on the opposite side, in Pot Falls, we have take off your clothes on Lulu. It might be a message for the ladies of Woodlands.
Oh, stop it.
I don't know. But it looks like they're gonna pick up that Ezreal as a counter to that Caitlyn, because Caitlyn will just poke anybody out of lane, and Ezreal's Mystic Shot, his main source of damage, early, mid, and I guess late game as well, because if you go that blue build, you really rely on that cooldown of the Mystic Shot to really have that presence. It's got such a long range and such a low cooldown that it basically replaces your auto attacks. So, so Billiam informs me that they may or may not be all dudes. You know, statistics say that 9 out of 10 League players are men, and then the other 1 out of 10 are liars. So, we'll
so I guess some of our friends don't count, or is that just because?
Yo, we haven't had proof yet that there's been no physical evidence of that. So, but enough of that. It looks like they're gonna pick up the Orianna on the side of Pot Falls. So Pot Falls looks like they're going with that engagement. Looks like what their team comp wants to do is poke down with I Determine on that Jace, and then hard engage with the Zac, because Ezreal and Jace, 2 really powerful pokers, and then they can speed up Zac, they can put the ball on him and have him elastic slingshot in for the engagement. So, or they don't even have to engage, they can just poke and then have that threat of the elastic slingshot make them give up objectives to them. So, but on the team of Woodlands, it looks like they're going for more tank-oriented champions over here.
Right, but they still looks like they have a little bit of hard engage. I mean, they have the Jarvan EQ combo, you have his R, you have Shenton, and you have Alistar's Headbutt Pulverize. And I think both teams have a... I think Woodlands has more of a Protect the Caitlyn comp, just because it seems like they have a lot more peel for their AD.
Yeah, I have been noticing that. And Caitlyn's just got great range as well. And, but Avon Fisher here taking the Alistar. And Alistar, you know what? He hasn't been seen a lot in the professional scene, but then if you jump over to Korea in the OGN, Mad Life actually got MVP on him the other day in his match, and that was really impressive, really impressive. He got Space, the ADC of CGNtus Frost, fed. I stay up until like 6 a.m. watching this stuff. I don't know why I do it. I want to be a professional caster one day, so I just analyze everything. So I was watching that, and Alistar effectively, if you play him really, really well, he basically becomes a Malphite ultimate, the Unstoppable Force, on a 10-second cooldown with Headbutt Pulverize, if you can land that combo consistently. He was tower diving, popping his ultimate, the Unbreakable Will, and then Headbutt Pulverizing people and hitting like 3 people with it. It was incredible. And if he can set that up for Billiam, if he can Headbutt Pulverize in, Billiam gets a taunt, a Shadow Dash across multiple members of Pot Falls, and then there's the follow-up from Jarvan, and the ultimate pop from the Oblivinator. We could see some really great team fights here.
Yeah.
And I think you pointed this out earlier, that Pot Falls looks like they're going for poke, whereas Woodlands looks like they're going for hard engage. Alistar, the Rune Prison from the Oblivinator Rise, and the J4 Dragon Standard, Dragon Strike, Demacian Standard combination, along with the Billiam on the Shen with the Shadow Dash. They are just looking to catch somebody out here. But there's so much disengage as well. I have to point that out. From Xbox Botan on his Orianna, he can use the command dissonance, I believe it's called, to speed up the teammates that walk over that area. And I Determine can use the acceleration gate on Jace to help disengage. So there's a lot of speed increases on his team. So they're gonna have to flash to catch somebody out, I believe.
Yeah. They also, they do have characters that are pretty slippery, I think, with Ezreal, but and the Lulu ultimate. But I do think that they'll try and focus Jace or Orianna and try and catch those 2 out, because those 2 are like the least mobile on Pot Falls' team. Yeah,
that's really something that I've been looking at too. They're not as mobile. They'll be pretty easy to catch. Oh, and I forgot, Lulu can speed people up as well. Yeah. They just have so much. They have so many utility tools coming their way, and man, did you hear that there's going to actually be Rise changes coming up?
Really?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
They're nerfing Rise. Oh,
No.
they're changing Rise, just so everybody knows about this.
No.
All of his spells are getting a reduction on their range. They're taking 25 off his Q, 50 off his W,
Holy
and 100 off of his E. So all of his spells are going to be 600 range instead of 625,
Whoa.
650, and 700. So all of his spells are going to end up being the 600 range, which might be good because have you ever played Rise and tried to use Rune Prison and then E, and it kind of makes you step forward and you don't cast Rune Prison because the ranges are different. So all of his ranges are going to be equalized to 600. And then what's going to happen is they're giving him 5 more movement speed to his base, and they're making it so his ultimate gives him 35 more movement speed.
Wow.
So
that's going to be interesting.
So he'll have 50 more movement speed. 40 more movement speed total. Plus that will factor into percentage movement speed increases, like the increase from movement speed quintessences, as well as the movement speed increase from utility masteries. So that's really going to be something as well that's going to factor into that. He's going to be able to chase people down easier, but he's going to have to be closer to people to do damage. That's the thing. He's going to have to put himself more at risk. So that's what the changes they're looking for. But those aren't in effect today, so we're going to see a really powerful Rise coming out if they can reach late game. So it looks like everybody's loading up here. We're going to talk about the skin war. What do you see coming out, Alex? Or some guy?
Looks like it's a tie. Oh, no. It looks like Woodlands has the skin advantage.
Yeah,
got 3 skins to 2.
And they have that TPA Shen, which is no longer available. I'm actually kind of bummed I didn't pick up a TPA skin. I won a tournament right after the skins were available, and I couldn't buy them. It was so bad. Riot,
oh no!
Riot's prizing. Why are you so slow? So, but we do have the Debonair Jace coming out, which is actually I really like that skin, considering it hasn't actually changed a whole bunch. It's just really nice. He's really, really slick. So we are going to have this game getting underway now. We do have, once again, in case you've forgotten, or maybe I'm just reminding myself, these are a best of 3. This is the HSL, the High School Star League tournament for League of Legends. I'm Zirene, and with me I have some guy 1144. This is the first game coming out. It's Potomac Falls on the left and the bottom playing blue, and we have Woodlands on the right playing purple. So give a shout out in chat who you think is going to win. Potomac Falls on the blue or Woodlands on the purple side. Go ahead, give them a big shout out. Who you think is going to win this one? And right now, I'm going to ask my co-caster, some guy, what do you think is going to happen for this level 1? We think we're going to see some invades?
We could have that potential. I mean, we have a Rise Rune Prison, and it looks like and they have Alistar, and it looks like they are stacking up to go take Zach's red, but Potomac Falls did ward that, so they will know if he takes the red. So most likely, if Woodlands gets spotted going to their red, Zach's just going to take Jarvan's red. Most likely.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They do have some good warding coming out here for that level 1, but it looks like they're going to actually hold off on that invade, so they're going to wait until around 140, maybe 150 to go in there, because they want to see if if they want to see if Zach is going to be doing the red, so they might want to catch somebody out here, but they don't have great ward coverage of their own red.
Right.
So,
and they've only got an Explorer ward at blue that just disappeared.
And it looks like they're actually just going to do a standard start here. They were looking to catch out maybe Ezreal or Lulu coming down there. They wanted to catch out, take off your clothes with his pants down. That's what they wanted to do. So it looks like A4 Andy as well, they wanted to get him down. But it looks like nothing's going to come out. We're going to have some standard starts here. Right. Shen did back to go up to that top. And it looks like we're just going to have a standard game coming out here. No excitement at level 1. Nothing to be too disappointed about, but I think these teams are going to be happy about that. When you're playing a game and nothing exciting happens level 1, you're just a big sigh of relief comes over you.
Yeah. No surprises or messy little level 1 invades.
Yeah, and it actually looks like both junglers aren't going to go straight to their red. They're actually going to go and do wolves first on both sides. Both Teresa and Nagaru are both going to do wolves first, which actually slows down their jungle and their gank potential because the red buff gives you immediate level 3. So we aren't going to see a gank until around 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And oh, you know what? It looks like Nan's also going to do wraiths. So, wow. That's actually going to take him quite low. Does have the potions running and might be able to actually just do the red without any help. But Teresa already hitting that level 3 and is already looking for a gank top. So, sneaking up on that Shen. But down bottom, actually, we have Take Your Clothes Off getting really low. It looks like they hit level 2 and the engagement came out. So, J4 top actually coming through the bush. Nanguru also ready to gank.
Yep. Although it looks like he's doing golems instead. Oh, and Jarvan just showed himself, but looks like he's just gonna run back to his jungle.
Yeah, it looks like no. Jarvan knows that there's a ward that was just placed actually. So looks like they're just gonna no gank's gonna come of this. Take Your Clothes Off is actually gonna get nice and healthy again. Start poking, but take some poke himself. So
we've got Nagaru hiding behind that wall. He's level 4, and so that's a huge level advantage if he decides to jump in.
Yeah, that's a big level advantage. Also, I believe that also gets him level 2 of Elastic Slingshot. No, actually took level 2 in Unstable Matter, so it doesn't have the increased range on the Elastic Slingshot.
Did you do that for more sustain in the jungle?
I don't know. It typically people max Elastic Slingshot first because every time you put a level into it, it increases the range, increases your gank potential, and lowers the cooldown. And it looks like he's positioning himself for a gank here. The slow does come out. Does come over the wall. Nanguru coming on to Jessica Tata here, getting a lot of damage on. The barrier comes out. The Pulverize is good to knock up, Take Your Clothes Off, and Andy. Nanguru staying in contact. The headbutt actually knocks Nanguru in a really bad direction. He flashes in front, gets the first blood onto Alistar, onto Avonfisher, but Teresa's there to pick this up. He's going to be globbed. The Cell Division coming out. Jessica Tata doing a lot of damage, and it looks like Andy's also really low. Can't contest this, and the second kill goes to Teresa Glyph. Gonna start taking your clothes off as well. He gets that double kill. It looks like there wasn't a great team coordination there coming out as well. A4 Andy was also really low from that, and it looks like iDetermined is just gonna bully him up there. And what do we see in that team fight?
Sorry, I actually missed that. I was trying to figure out something with.
Well, I guess it was a rhetorical question because I knew exactly what happened in that team fight. So what happened there is we actually saw the Elastic Slingshot come out, didn't have the extra range on it, but came over, blew both summoners from Jessica Tata. Jessica Tata got away from that, but the flash came out from Nanguru. But in the meantime, Teresa was coming down to help out his team, or she help out her team. I'm just going to call it a he. I'm just going to call it Teresa. So J4 came down, helped out his team in a very crucial moment too. Also had the buffs get transferred over, I believe, back onto himself. So, or not, or maybe ended up on Jessica Tata. No, actually the buffs got expired there. So it looks like Naguru spent a long time in the jungle. Yeah, it looks like Naguru spent a long time in the jungle actually picking up the golems, picking up the wraiths, and that was enough time for actually both buffs to expire, or maybe just the golem buff to expire, and then have the red buff end up on Teresa afterwards. So I think that's what I saw happen. And
yeah, I think that's what happened too. Because Nagaru did.
And Take Your Clothes Off, gonna get headbutted. Oh wait, but actually hits the wall. Might run over the trap, runs into the trap. Jessica Tata picking up a kill. So it puts Jessica Tata 1-0 and 1 with that assist from the beginning.
Yep, and she's got a big CS lead as of right now too. She's about 34. Yeah, and that's 35.
That looks, yeah, it's a 35 CS lead. And actually, thank you for mentioning that, because now I'm looking at that. So Teresa Glitta is actually running in there, taking tower hits, is very low, has sub 100 HP, but it looks like he's just going to walk away from that. A for Andy landing into a trap, and I'm actually going to take a moment here and line up all of these people, and that was just one move. Okay, wow. So all right, but yeah, so the huge CS lead in the favor of Woodlands on Caitlyn with Jessica. Jessica has a huge CS lead here, and that's typically what you're going to see with a Caitlyn, because Caitlyn has such long range at 650 compared to all other ADCs. The closest ADC is Ashe at 600. So Ezreal, I believe, has a standard just 550 range. I'm going to check it right now for everybody, and yes, it's a 550 range. So
yep.
Ezreal, low range, 100 less than Caitlyn, so Caitlyn can range leash him and never take any poke in return if she stays in her minions. So it's really up to Take Your Clothes Off to do the poke here. But it's not going to be enough with an Alistar consistently healing Caitlyn. So Avonfisher really just a heal bot right now as Jessica pokes both Take Your Clothes Off and A for Andy out of the lane, because Lulu has no sustain. So the damage he does is going to stick.
And I think you also have Caitlyn with the Vampiric Scepter, and that's a lot more sustained than Ezreal currently has. Just with the Doran's Blade, which gives you 5 health on per hit.
Yeah, so the Doran's Blade not going to be enough to actually keep him in lane consistently, and he has to attack to do that, which means he puts himself at risk for counter poke. So that lane is just really tough, and it might have actually been favorable for them to do a lane swap, because Jace does really well in a 2v1 situation with his range, whereas Shen is decent at 2v1, but not as great. And considering that Alistar is a melee champion, in a 2v1 situation, he can't hit the turret very well.
Right.
Whereas Lulu, a ranged champion, can hit a turret. So if they had initiated a lane swap here, it might have been in the favor of Potfalls. Right. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't say I'd say they would definitely have an advantage there. Although Caitlyn takes turrets quickly, Ezreal's a great tower pusher as well with his W and the fact that he has Lulu on his back as well. So not a lot of action coming out here, but we do see, once again, Teresa doing a lot of work coming top right now. But it looks like they see that with a ward. iDetermine's going to walk away from that and say, you know what, Teresa's been causing havoc everywhere. 2-0, I'm out of here. Oh. So,
I think anytime you see a Jarvan with a Giant's Belt running at you at this early in the game, you're going to be pretty scared.
Yeah, and the Giant's Belt pickup is really just, you know, I had a lot of money. I didn't want to go for that early jungling item or the boots, and so we have the flash coming out from Avon Fisher on to take your clothes off, knocks him away. Take your clothes off, flashes in the opposite direction, says, you know what, you blew your flash, I'll blow mine, that's fine.
And we have the Oblivinator coming down, but he just got spotted by the wards, and we have Nagaru hiding around.
But Nagaru, very low HP. The Oblivinator actually has that blue buff, and he's just going to walk through the lane, but Teresa's going to hold the middle lane, which is great play. This is something I don't see enough of in solo queue, is when the mid roams, the jungle has to cover that lane, or else the turret's going to take damage, and if he doesn't get a kill down bottom, it's not going to be worth it.
Right.
Oh, and it looks like they're going to be ballsy on this one. Avon Fisher does have his ultimate, pops the Unbreakable Will, take your clothes off, drops down to the Oblivinator, lets bounces out as well, and it looks like we're actually going to pick up Alistar on that one, and they're going to pick up Ezreal, and Nagaru's just going to walk away from that one.
I was sort of expecting that dive to come out when Ryze and them were just pushing the lane.
Yeah, and what I didn't actually get to see there was Billiam actually hit 6, well, hit 8 already, but hasn't used his Stand United because there was a lot of pressure coming out from iDetermine up top. So iDetermine actually gets to take that lane for himself for a little bit, and he's going to back because he forced Billiam to back as well. And the first turret goes in favor of Woodlands, with Jessica picking that up alongside the Oblivinator. There you go.
And Jessica is doing really well with the CS. She's got 83 CS at 10 minutes. That's really good.
Yeah, that's really good. But also, yeah, Xbox Botan has 89 CS in that mid lane.
He's farming really well as well. He picked up an early Giant's Belt. That's not something I usually see on Orianna a lot. It's not what I do, personally.
Well, I haven't actually seen that pick up on an Orianna before, ever, pretty much. You know, you don't see a lot of Oriannas. You see some people in like Korea, like ganked by mom. You see some people in EU play it. It hasn't really been a big pickup in NA, but Orianna's still a very good pick. Very, very great wave clear. Very great disengage. Very great. Oh wow! But as I'm saying all these things, he's great at. He's also great. Whoa! He's also great at flying. That was incredible. That was Avon Fisher used the headbutt as Xbox was flashing, so he flashed over him and got headbutted towards his turret and away from sheer death. That was incredible.
That's something you don't see all the time.
Not only is Orianna really great at disengage, he's really great at doing things that aren't physically possible. You know, that was great. That was wonderful. But all this has been going on. It looks like we're actually going to see Alistar coming from behind the turret. It says, you know what? I messed it up the first time, but I'm going to headbutt pulverize you with Unbreakable Will on. Xbox is actually going to be fine. And that's a blown ultimate from Avon.
Yeah, but it's on a 100-second cooldown. That's not too bad. He'll have it up pretty soon. And
they do poke Xbox out of the lane, though, so Xbox going to have to go back now and buy, maybe turn that Giant's Belt into something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at the Giant's Belt. It's probably going to be a Rylai's, but I think what I saw, I think on I think it was I forget his name. You said it earlier, the Oriana player.
Xbox?
No, not Xbox. The Korean Oriana player.
Ganked by mom.
Yeah, ganked by mom. Yeah, he picked up a haunting guys for HP, I think, instead of a Giants belt. The last game I saw him play.
So he might turn that Giants belt into a Rylai's Crystal Scepter?
Yeah, that's most likely where he's going with it.
That's probably what that's going to turn into. So,
and it looks like they're going to do a lane swap. They're going to put Jace against Ryze and put Oriana against Shen. Just because I think...
I'm not sure why they're doing that, but maybe they want to give Ryze... No, they want to give Jace the blues because Jace has tier, and that's going to help him charge that up faster to get to that Muramana and get to that late game Terror Jace where his hypercharges do 1,000 damage plus in 1 second. So that's a really, really scary Jace when you have hypercharge leveled to max level, and then you start pushing turrets, you start killing people, and it really makes Jace really crazy. And his wave clear is great as well, even without the acceleration gate, which he's waiting for right now. So he's up against 3 members actually right now. And looking at the gold difference, there is 3K... Oh, wow, nope. Let's not look at the gold difference. Let's look at how this is going. Xbox actually looking to get in there, but the acceleration gate's coming down, as well as the trap is actually going to lock somebody up. So they actually disengage this really well for Potfalls. Sorry, Woodlands on the right. So Woodlands on the purple team there, the red team. They actually have a 4K gold lead because they picked up that first dragon. I didn't mention that because Oriana was flying at the time.
I totally missed that too.
Oriana was flying at the time, and I was laughing so hard at that. But the dragon pickup did happen for the team Woodlands over there.
Yep.
So
I think Avon Fisher's been watching a lot of Mad Life. We've seen like 3 turret dives come out.
Yeah, definitely his inspiration coming out. He did get MVP for that game as well, I believe. So Mad Life actually got to say, you know, he gets to have an interview. For whoever's the MVP gets to have an interview, and his mom was in the audience, and he said, you know, he loves his mom, and so people start calling him Mom Life. But it was really awesome. But his Alistar play was incredible. And it looks like they're going to siege another turret here, which is actually quite impressive because Potfalls has a really great wave clear team comp. They have Oriana, they have Jace. Jace can just, like you just saw right there, can clear an entire wave with an acceleration shock blast.
Yep.
So Oriana as well with the command attack, command distortion, it can just clear an entire wave. But it looks like the gold difference is still at 4K, and the reason that's there is the 3 kills, the turret, the dragon, and the fact that Ezreal's 50 CS behind.
Yeah.
So what do they what do they have to do in these next couple minutes to actually catch up? Do you think they have to start a team fight, or are they too behind to do that?
I think at this where you don't have a lot of full item builds, you might be able to team fight. But I'd try and focus on letting Ezreal farm a little bit and try not to engage too much. But the problem is that Woodlands is probably going to try and press their advantage and siege turrets. But like we just saw in the mid lane, though, that Potomac Falls' wave clear just basically stalemated that attempt at a push. Yeah,
so maybe they have to wait for the next dragon, or maybe we're going to see a team fight come out here. Take off your clothes, getting very low. The Oriana actually hitting nobody there.
That's the worst feeling when you miss an Oriana ult.
And I'm actually surprised that Teresa didn't use his ultimate, the Cataclysm, to take off your clothes.
I think he felt that it was probably not worth the risk.
And this early in the game, though, I'm not sure. Maybe anyway, he's not bloodthirsty enough. They have an advantage, but when you're in a game like this, you don't know how much of an advantage you have. And it looks like Alistar trying to come up top again, but no, guess not.
Yep.
But like I was just saying, you don't know how much advantage you have. We see they have 4.5k gold advantage. All you see is 2 kills to 5. And down bottom, A for Andy actually getting very low, has to flash away. He is at half HP. Teresa doing a lot of work here, whereas we have Avon Fisher up top trying to do damage to this turret. But we have Zach also coming around on the side.
Yep. This could turn out kind of bad, but depends on if someone gets caught up here, up at top. But I don't think anybody will.
Now I'm not sure if they actually know that Zach is there or not. They don't have a ward in that area.
The river ward might have barely caught him.
I'm not sure, but it looks like everybody's split.
I mean the tri-brush.
Everybody's split pretty evenly right now. There isn't a huge concentration of people, and people are still laning at around 50 minutes. So it looks like they're going to get Nangru in there. But no, Rise saw that coming. Rise just gets out of the way. The Oblivinator not going to have any of that today.
And it just looks like down bot lane they've just been sieging this turret with Caitlyn and Jarvan.
And we have the ultimates coming out here. We have the Shen, the ultimate Stand United coming out as well, saving him. But looks like it gets canceled somehow. Not by a death, but no. Well, nothing came of that.
Maybe Jace used Thundering Blow to knock Shen away, and it canceled the ult.
Yeah,
for Stand United.
If Shen had done Stand United in the middle of the lane, the Thundering Blow, switching to the hammer, the Mercury Hammer, and then using Thundering Blow would have been enough to stop that. And it looks like they're gonna have to give up this turret.
And it looks like Woodlands is gonna get another dragon.
And Woodlands having great control of this game right now. 5K ahead, 2 turrets, 3 kills up, and 1 dragon. It looks like they're gonna pick up their 2nd dragon of the game.
Though I think if Potomac Falls decides to contest this, Rise might not be able to help because he is on very low mana, but no one's going to contest it.
Yeah, but they did have a ward there too, so Potomac Falls actually saw that getting taken, so they're going to have the timer for next time. But that does put Woodlands 6K ahead. And 6K isn't a huge deal, but this early in the game, it is. You see Shen has completed his Sunfire Cape. He's had that for a while now. And Jace picking up that Manamune really early, wanting to get that into a Muramana as quickly as possible, and picking up the Brutalizer. So I'm not sure if the Brutalizer isn't a fantastic pick right now. It's a great item on Jace, because you do eventually turn it into a Black Cleaver. But the fact that Shen is rushing armor and picked up that Sunfire Cape, it might have been a little better to work that into a Last Whisper this early, because Last Whisper would be more effective against him. You do get the CDR from the Brutalizer, but not questioning his choice, he does get more CDR, which will make it so that his Muramana charges quicker.
Right.
Or I guess his Mana Moon charges quicker, but it does already charge off auto attacks. So, he's still going with a standard Jace build. He'll eventually get that Last Whisper. The question is there going to be a team fight before he gets that, though?
Right. I think the last OGN game I watched, it was Shy. He picked up basically his first 2 major items were Last Whisper and a Muramana versus a Malphite. Very heavy tanky team.
Yeah, and they're really relying here on Pop Falls.
And
they're really relying on
looks like
Zac.
Alistar's gonna get caught out. Nope, he flashes over the Dragon Wall and he's gonna
no,
get out safely.
no Elastic Slingshot to follow that. So Ezreal here, A for Andy's actually been sitting on a Fairy Charm for a long time now. Now, typically you turn that into a tier, but it would be too late to pick up a tier. Tier charges so slowly now that it takes you about 20 minutes to actually charge it completely. So,
and I think he felt he was too far behind in lane to actually pick up an early tier. And he's trying to go for more damage. He picked up a Bloodthirster, but the thing is that Caitlyn, she just backed and picked up an Infinity Edge. And so her damage is just going to spike right now.
Oh wow, and we have Avenfisher coming in with the Headbutt Pulverized, but no follow-up, no Shadow Dash, not enough energy for it coming out from Shen. So if we look at actually the gold spread right now, it looks like the gold is concentrated on Rise and Caitlyn in terms of who has all the gold over their opponents. Jessica has almost 3K over A for Andy. And oh wow, we're going to have a team fight coming out here. We have the ultimates coming out. Let's Bance Nanguru all over the team of Woodlands. But it looks like we're going to have a counter engage here. The teleport coming in from the Oblivinators all over that Cataclysm. And Teresa is going to take him out too. The Cell Division coming out. There's a double kill for the Oblivinator. Might become a triple kill really quickly. He does have that blue buff for the short cooldown. Triple kill as well. So the Oblivinator's going to pick that up. Meanwhile, Avenfisher was finishing off Nanguru because he was split into Cell Division. And they're going to pick up a free turret here.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The Oblivinator there flashing an Acceleration Gate Shock Blast. Not exactly sure if that would have hit, but wow.
Well, it does have a sizable explosion radius, but...
You think Ideterm is going to make anything come of this?
Probably not.
he was able to land that good shock blast, which did hit 3 members of Woodlands, so they were like, well, you know what, we don't want any more of this. So they're backing off, not doing Baron, but walking towards it.
I think that last fight, Potomac Falls did not catch out Caitlyn like they wanted. She after she got hit by elastic slingshot, she E'd out and then she flashed and then she E'd out, and she basically avoided most of Potomac Falls' engage, and then you had the counter engage come down from Shen and Rise.
Yeah, and I think what Potomac Falls wanted to do there was disengage after the flash E had come out, but Jarvan really stops that. Teresa coming in with a great Cataclysm on top of that, stopping the retreat. Basically, when he caught 2-3 members of the team, said, you're trapped here, you're not leaving, you're mine, and Potomac Falls had already retreated. iDetermine was in the back trying to get away, and so some members hesitated and said, we have to help them, but iDetermine's like, no, nope, nope, and just ran away from that. So they really had to give up those kills, though, because the teleport came in from Rise, but there was no Stand United used there. Shen was actually in that fight from the start.
Right. Did Rise teleport to that ward that was sitting in the middle lane, or did he teleport to the Jarvan flag?
I'm not sure. He actually teleported somewhere around this area where A4 Andy's actually standing. So, looks like Xboten actually going to... Xbox is going to fight Jessica right now. Gets the Orianna ult, but the barrier's coming out as well.
Wow.
And the ace in the hole, finishing off Xbox there. It was a good duel. It was a good duel.
The Oblivionator just used his 4 skills on Nagaru and basically just chunked him for over half his health.
And Nagaru actually doesn't have any magic resist besides the Negatron cloak, so that's actually going to probably turn into a Spirit Visage right here.
Yep.
Oh, and it looks like Woodlands actually has the timer on the dragon. So they say we're gonna do blue and then maybe do dragon. It looks like that's where they're heading right now.
Yep. Let's see. What time was the last dragon?
They're sticking around it pretty hard. I don't know if it's actually about to come up.
It's gonna spawn in 5 seconds.
Yeah. So they're around that area. They really want that dragon. They want that extra gold. But
and
pings,
there it is.
Pings from Bot Falls actually from Pot Falls towards the Baron. Whereas Billiam's actually doing the blue of Pot Falls. And he's actually going to run into Nagaru right now. Nagaru going to be like, oh well, then hopefully iDetermine can help here. Billiam getting hit by the... Oh, doesn't actually get hit by the let's bounce too much. And he just gets out of there. So it wasn't a huge hard engage. It was just a nice little skirmish in the jungle.
He did have to burn his flash though, and then that may or may not be a good thing.
Yeah,
Just because he's not going to have it for a flash taunt if he needs it.
Yeah, the flash shadow dash is very important for him. And this team is just so tanky. You know how I said at the beginning of the game that the poke is really what's going to be in Pot Falls' favor right now? The poke isn't going to work. There's too much armor on the team of Woodlands. They have so much tankiness that it doesn't even matter. And Jessica's so far ahead, they could just do that to the entire team. Look at him chunking A for Andy right now. But iDetermine coming from the side. He's locked up. The Stand United coming across. And it looks like they might disengage this as well. But no, A for Andy says, I'm going to ulti across. And it looks like they're going to have to disengage this. They're all really low. Take off your clothes. It's really low. A for Andy's really low. And iDetermine has no mana. So the other team, Woodlands, still has a lot left in them. And Nagaru taking a lot of damage flashing underneath the turret. Even though it was probably a little unnecessary, didn't want the Oblivionator to flash after him. And the Oblivionator's going to pick up a free turret here. And this is the late game terrorize that I was talking about.
Yep. He's starting to get that, he's starting to get close to that, well, he is at 40% CDR, and once you get 40% CDR on Rise, your skills just come really, really quick, and you can just spam everything and just do massive amounts of damage in like 10 seconds or less.
And he's farmed himself up 11k gold already, and he's got 0 deaths, 5 kills, all these turrets and dragons under his belt as well, which are dragons that the other team doesn't have, and turrets that the other team has left unanswered. It's 6-0 in terms of turrets, so he has so much gold, which means he has so much gold, the other team doesn't have gold, so they can't really take the damage he's dishing out. And it looks like they're going to pick up another turret here in the middle and leave that inhibitor open.
And it doesn't even look like Potomac Falls is going to really try and contest this. They've got Andy. Oh, never mind. We have the engage going now.
Nagaru using the Let's Bounce to try and catch people. I determined jumping towards back to the Oblivinator. The ultimate from Oriana coming about. The Cataclysm coming as well. But this is not an even fight. There's so much gold on the Woodlands. And Nagaru is going to get Cell Division right now. The Flash is coming out, trying to take off your clothes, but he is going to be right out of range. And that's another double kill for Rise, leaving him at 7-0. And, I hate to call games, but this looks like it'll probably be GG right now with an 18k gold lead in the favor of Woodlands.
Yep. If you let Rise get this fed, and your team is just not tanking enough, you're not going to be able to survive because he just has so much burst on such a low cooldown. Oh
wow! And it looks like they're just going to make this a slow and painful death for the other team. They're going to take that inhibitor turret. They're going to take that inhibitor. They could have probably done. They probably could have taken the Nexus in this time, but that would have been a risky move. But it looks like they're just going to play it safe, and Woodlands is going to walk away with 2 inhibitors down. Ooh, an 18k gold advantage. Ooh, man.
That Oriana ult basically did no damage to the amount of beefy characters that Woodlands has.
Woodlands is so
almost nothing
right now.
The only thing it did was knock him up for like a second, and then they just continued tearing through Potomac Falls.
Yeah, and Potomac right now has to be thinking, this is a best of 3. We've probably lost this game unless we get 3 Baron steals in a row and can hold out. This game, we just need to figure out what to do for the next game. Use this time and think, what are we going to pick? What are we going to ban next time? Do we not want to see that Rise? Do we not want to see that Shen? Do we not want to have Jessica on that Caitlyn? What do we need to ban out? What's going through their heads right now? That's probably what's on their minds. This game, probably lost, but they need to gather as much information as they can for the next game.
Right. I think we're probably going to see Potomac Falls try and either ban or take Caitlyn just to have the range and basically the strong late game, because the blue Ezreal build isn't as strong damage wise. It's a lot better for just being slippery, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he hasn't actually gotten anything.
Yeah, he's just been building a damage. And he doesn't even have level 2 boots yet, so he's just so far behind. I mean, he's about 106 CS behind Caitlyn.
Yeah, and he has half the gold that Caitlyn does. Almost half the gold that Caitlyn does right now. If they picked up a Baron, then Caitlyn would definitely have twice as much gold as Ezreal, especially effectively in items too, because the Baron buff gives you AP and AD, which is effectively stats in terms of gold. So, looks like we're going to have maybe the final team fight coming out here for both teams. We have Potfalls trying to defend this last turret that they have, but the Oblivinator is going to be mid, pushing that middle lane, helping those super minions get to the base faster, which is going to mean somebody's going to have to peel off. It's going to be I Determine trying to kill all those minions that are knocking at their Nexus turrets.
he doesn't have enough damage to kill them all either, or the sustain to stay there. And we just have Caitlyn sieging the turret with her 650 range.
And a 4-on-5 is not what you want right now. That third inhibitor turret's going to go down. We have a Shadow Dash coming across from Billion. We have the ultimate coming across from Teresa as well. Andy is actually in the fountain, but we have a double kill from Jessica coming across on those members of Potfalls. The Oblivinator trying to get into the fountain, gets a Rune Prison on I Determine. The Overload coming across. The Dragon Standard's good. It's going to help Jessica pick up that third kill. It's not going to be a triple kill, though. The timer did expire. And the Ace in the Hole's coming across with the Overload, and it's a double kill for the Oblivinator once again with an Ace. 3 inhibitors down. The entire team of Potfalls is dead. The Nexus turrets are going down, and the Nexus is sure to follow right now. That is GG. Woodlands takes the first game of this best of 3, and the first game in the High School Star League.
Yep. That was a really good game from Woodlands. They played really well with the they had a lot of good team coordination too. They initiated fights very well. They did the counter engages to Potomac Falls' engages, so it was quite a good game from Woodlands. And we saw the problem that Potomac Falls poke just couldn't deal with the amount of armor and health that the majority of Woodlands' team had.
So I was just informed, actually, by one of the administrators that these are bests of 1. So I look like a complete fool right now. And I asked them before this tournament, And it was best of 3. I got the nod. It told me it was best of 3. My notes say best of 3 right here, and that there's a losers bracket. I will double check right now. Is there a losers bracket? So in the meantime, though, the High School Star League is a great up-and-coming. They've been around since, I believe, 2011, actually maybe earlier than that, playing StarCraft 2, and they've just expanded into League of Legends. So this is the first High School Star League tournament, which is involved with high schools all around the country, actually, all around the nation. So this is a national tournament that's coming out. Is their first... Wait. Yeah.
It is best of 3?
No, it's a best of 1.
Oh.
It's a best of 1, but there's a losers bracket.
Okay. Our caster, or our HS Star League person said, our fault, it's best of 3. Yes, there's a losers bracket, Mudkits for sale. So I don't know what's going on, because I'm confused.
But so that was a great game coming out. So we're going to actually have a game coming up for you guys very shortly. Once again, thanks for checking out the High School Star League. And in the meantime, stick around. I'm going to play some music so you guys aren't completely bored. Keep the stream up. Bump the Reddit post. Look at a High School Star League and also get involved with that. I'm Zirene, and my co-caster is SomeGuy1144. Sorry, I'm going to say your name for you.
That's all right.
I personally have a Twitter that I want to plug. I'm at LOLZirene. I cast for a lot of things, and I really want to get involved in casting in the professional scene. So you can follow me on Twitter. You can give me the jobs that you want. And actually, whoa, look at that. We're going to have a game we can cast right now, so we don't need any of that. So we're actually going to get straight into this other game. Thank you, admins. We're actually been casting for a long time.
I think... When did we start casting? What was it? Winter quarter or something like that?
I think I believe I started casting for University of California, Irvine, in the winter quarter. So since then, I'm now a caster for the Collegiate Star League. I am the West Coast admin for the College of Casting. I am the national shoutcaster for Collegiate Games. Oh, what else do I do? I'm also a caster for Ivy LoL. And now I'm a caster for High School Star League. So, this is really, really fun. I really enjoy doing it. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, once again, it's at LOLZirene, all one word. And, we're going to have another game coming right now.